Hello and welcome to Studio 18 in the Pines, in Pembroke Pines, which is the city's art gallery. And here we can see the new art exhibit, which is a photography exhibit by two wonderful photographers, and it's called Duet. And with me is Amelia Muhammad, who is the facility manager at Studio 18. How did you find these artists, and how did this show come together?
The show was already named Duet, and we were at another show at the Glass Gallery, and I had the pleasure of meeting Phoenix, and I also met Larry Levine, and I asked them, well, actually, they wanted to be a part of any of my shows, and I asked them to come by, visit me at Studio 18 and bring some of their work. And their work is so similar, and they just work so cohesively together, and I knew I had to have them. I'm glad you came by to take a look at them, and I hope that everyone else will come by and enjoy it.
I hope so.
Yes.
So isn't this a beautiful art exhibit of photography? And with me is Dolores Gardinas, who works with Larry Levine, who couldn't be here today because he's on the other coast. I mean, West Coast, not Florida's West Coast, the United States West Coast. But you know a lot about his work. So tell me when he started being a commercial photographer.
In the last 3 years. His work, I believe, it takes him a little bit of everywhere. Of course, being in South Florida, it's wonderful to have the nature scenery that we have. The
Absolutely.
Everglades, which are just unbearably beautiful.
These photographs at the rodeo not only are the action of the rodeo, but the sweetness of people. Look at this father and son. I mean, that really, that gets to me. It's not your normal rodeo picture.
One thing that Larry loves is telling the story. And this is a story of an enjoyable afternoon at the rodeo or evening at the rodeo, and the son has has taken his nap for the evening, you know.
Yeah, he's had
but
enough.
But the dad is just gleeful, and he just, his
Very
eyes tell
sweet
everything.
picture.
And this one, the black and white, is of children hanging onto the fence as they're watching the rodeo. There was a break, and the kids just like to do that. But the series of the children with the cowboy hats and
the
each
plaid
again
shirts.
tells a story. These are the future fans or future rodeo stars, and Larry just loved that photograph. He shot it and went, oh yeah, there's my story.
Well, wish him luck.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry he couldn't be here, but we didn't need him, did we? This wonderful photographer is Phoenix, and her work is displayed right behind us, and we're going to take a look at it. Tell me, you have a great background in photography, all kinds of photography.
I do.
Start with me.
I think, sometimes you come back to what you were supposed to do all along, and my passion is nature, really. Being in nature, absorbing, being in the space of and sharing beauty. And doing nature and wildlife photography is who I'm all about. That's what I do. And my background goes back to actually, when I was a little child, following my dad around when he had his little Polaroid and then went to his Olympus camera, and we visited national parks, and I would be there right by his side taking in what he was doing. He never handed me a camera, but I think I was learning it through osmosis.
Sure.
And then when I became
It's in your genes.
it seems to be. And when I started off as a teacher and educator a few years ago, and at that time I actually was asked to teach TV production and filmmaking and the history of filmmaking. So I just jumped right in it, and I loved it. And it's like you're being led naturally. And after about, I even did yearbook and newspaper production, so I was always doing photography. And then at some point, actually after my first divorce, I left it all behind. I left that whole life behind, and then I came to another place in my life about 5 years ago where I felt like I've helped so many people through their parts of their transition in their life, and it was time to revitalize myself.
Good for you.
And I came back to photography. I thought about what did I love to do, and I loved photography. I loved being in nature. I put myself back out there. I found organizations here in South Florida and just got immersed in that. And before I knew it, within a half a year, I was on the professional path because I had really started that years ago. And I came back to that, and it's just been wonderful. I've been, as of this date, this is my first duet show, but previously in the last 4.5 years, I've had 8 solo exhibitions.
Wow.
Including the Everglades National Park. So I feel I've really just jumped right in, as I said,
Yes, you have.
100%, 110%, and really this is my love.
So you work at it every day?
I do work at it every day. In addition to between getting ready for different exhibits, being considered for different opportunities, shows. I've been in many, it's even I think the last 2 or 3 years, over 50 different jury shows. So it's
And I'm
an
sure you do
ongoing.
very well in the jury show.
I've won several awards, and also my work is being collected, so I'm very, very,
How nice.
I'm very honored.
Absolutely.
Yes. So it's just been a fun ride. At the same time, what I do in nature, what I see in nature, and in birds, and I'm looking at Louis, one of the pieces in the show. He's a huge orangutan, to landscapes. I find the same thing in people. It's always connecting with spirit, their soul essence, if you will. So that's what I feel I do.
You see auras.
And I connect with the people the same way. So I also do portraits and events, and I just finished up a wedding. So a little bit different.
That's so different.
It's such a different, but I believe I bring the same me to every single thing I do, and just capturing that inner beauty and having it show up on the outside.
Well, your photographs definitely show the inner beauty that's within you.
Oh, thank you.
And I wish you luck.
Thank you for this opportunity.
For OCTV, I'm Elaine Kugelman, and thank you for joining me today at Studio 18 in the Pines for this wonderful photography exhibit called Do It, Duet.